back to Overthink, the game show where I ask contestants a series of Overwatch hot takes to see where they stand. Feel free to play along in the comments to let me know what your opinions are on these hot takes. And if you'd like to actually be on an episode, go ahead and sign up in my Discord. I host these live on my Twitch channel most Sundays, so please go follow me on there to catch a show live. And lastly, please don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more content like this. On today's episode, I brought on 10 Flex players to find out what we've all been wondering. Do all Flex players think the same? Let's find out. One tricks ruin the game. So we have nobody at all in the agree, which is actually kind of surprising considering the fact that these are all Flex players. So you would think that if anybody hates One Tricks that it would be Flex players, but I guess not.
I would say One Tricks, they don't ruin the game, but it is a difficult thing to play with because they're often so hard set on using one specific character, which can often, with the way Overwatch works with team comps and counter picks and everything, it can sometimes be very difficult to work with someone who's unwilling to switch off a character. But at the same time, it's sometimes, if there are One Trick, they can like practice that really well, and then they can still push through those counter picks regardless. So while it does make things difficult sometimes, I wouldn't say it ruins the game. It just makes things a lot more difficult, but honestly, I can respect it. You have your fun, man. Take it easy.
So One Tricks, they are really just a mixed bag. Sometimes you get a really good like Mercy that can actually like do things and like she damage boosts the DPS. Other times you get heal bots that do nothing but pocket the tank and just ruin the experience for everyone, Lucio's especially.
For the most part, being a Flex player, I don't find it particularly hard to work around a One Trick, because normally One Tricks have their problems. So like, if they get countered by something, you just help them. You pick something else that's going to help them out. So as a Flex player, I feel like One Tricks cause a problem that I like to fix.
In my opinion, I like sometimes to have a little bit of a challenge as like seeing what should I play to make them actually do the function that they need to do. So as a Vex player, I like switching between every single each character to actually support them and actually go through and actually win the game in that fact.
The reason I strongly disagree is because I feel like you should just, the whole game, the whole point is fun, just like kind of play who you want. The same reason we pick Flex is the same reason they can One Trick. They want to just go with one character, they get really good at it, I respect that. I don't see a problem with it.
There's another smudge! Oh no, who done it? Why are there smudges now in every Overthink episode?
The smudge is a reoccurring character now.
It just wants to give some hot takes.
The smudge wants to get canceled on Twitter.
I think it's bad to main too many heroes. Go. Oof! We have Genji on his lonesome, completely over there. He must smell or something because everybody else is so far away from him right now. All right, Genji, take it away.
I kind of have this problem too, where I notice this, like because I like to play, all different archetypes of Team 2 for each role. So I play a lot of different characters recently. And I feel like there are times, it's good to learn characters, but I feel like trying to get proficient at all of them all at once can kind of hinder you a little bit more than it can help you. Understanding it basically is good, but once you get past that point, I feel like it starts to get, a little bit excessive, and I've struggled with the same thing too on certain characters.
I am someone who has been playing this game very consistently since beta. There's been next to no periods throughout that time that I have ever mained a specific character. I've always just kind of given every little character, depending on what was needed at the time, just the time it needed. And I find that if maining too many characters doesn't really exist if you just put the time in to get to know those characters.
I think while maining too many heroes can lead to a lack of specialization, I feel like it's essential to recognize that the flexibility can be an asset in Overwatch. So being able to adapt to various situations and switch heroes when needed can provide a special advantage in different situations.
When you say the phrase meaning a hero, I like to think that means that someone has put in a lot of time and effort into learning that hero and their playstyle and their set and everything they can do. So if someone does that with multiple heroes and has a lot of heroes, I think it's really good to have a diverse group of heroes under your belt that you can use under any situation. Because this game, for tanks right now, it's swap simulator, but you can do a lot of different heroes for a lot of different things.
Is there a way I could debate on that? The thing is, what I've realized is playing tank, tank is very painful and sometimes very fun. It just kind of depends on the game from what I've been seeing. But I feel like Like the amount of times I play D.Va and then the other tank just switches to Zarya and then they just lose because it's based on like map more and they're just like, it's a new Bonnie, they go Zarya, you know, like it's just not a good choice. And I've noticed that that's kind of like running through the idea of just swap isn't really the best strategy either. Like I feel like there is a way that if you go to the certain just couple set of heroes, different archetypes, I feel like you can be better than like playing every single tank.
Agree that on a lot of occasions swapping too much is an issue, but like you said, if you can go D.Va on that Zarya and it is effective after your first swap, I think that's good because you not only know whatever character you picked first, but now you also know D.Va. And if it were going south and you're getting, really badly diffed by that Zarya, then you can go to, back to Reinhardt or something to then, assist a little better.
I agree with that.
Who else from the disagree would like to speak?
Okay, so maining too many heroes isn't a bad thing, especially since there is literally a character in the game designed to allow you to pick any other character while playing that character. Her name is Echo. And being that character, you can basically pick anybody else on the enemy team and diff them if you're good enough.
After hearing everybody speak, is there anybody who would like to swap their stance at all? We had one person swap. So Bap, you went from disagree to somewhat disagree. What changed your mind?
I think there is like a level to it where it's like if you are just playing Swap Simulator to always try to counter somebody, it's not necessarily fun because like if I'm playing a character, I'll hard stick with somebody and even if it's a bad choice, if I'm in like quick play, I don't care. If I'm on Reinhardt, I'm on Reinhardt and it's not getting moved. So I think it's not good to always be swapping. You can learn every character, but don't swap all the time.
In ranked, you should always be in voice chat communicating. Go.
The game's all about like communication. So, if you're trying to plan something with your tank or with your supports, like combo ults, you're not gonna do that just by pressing buttons. You got to be using your mouth, use your words. Otherwise, nothing's gonna get across.
Overwatch is a team-based game, and just like any sport, esport, real sport, you must communicate with your team, and it is about having that connection with your team. Even if you are not speaking, just being able to listen in and go together is really going to make that difference when you're playing. And so I just see it. No situation where it is not better to be in chat.
In such a chaotic game and dynamic game as Overwatch is, I feel like comms are one of the most important part of the game. There are so many team fights that are lost just because of no comms or bad comms, but the same thing goes for like just toxicity in the voice chat. Like sometimes I don't want to put up with that. Sometimes it's just like too intense for me to like give comms. But again, comms are really important and you can win so many more games when I'm just like combing with my friend and comboing ults or just like attacking the same person at once.
Communication is undeniably like vital in Overwatch, especially in ranked matches where teamwork is so crucial. Being in voice chat and actively communicating with your team can lead to like better coordination, improved strategy, and higher chance of success. But with that being said, there's also like mechanics in the game like pinging and stuff like that when people cannot be on the mic, because I know that a lot of people who play Overwatch cannot do that for multiple reasons, and I feel like it is a greater like success rate if you do communicate via mic, but I don't feel like it's totally essential because you can still win games.
I feel like with the addition of pings, like there is actually more flexibility for you to actually be joining voice chat, because there are many cases, like as said before, as toxicity. As myself, I have experienced a lot of toxicity, and staying in voice chat actually affects me to actually keep going throughout the game, because hearing all the negative thoughts about everyone makes you feel down and play even worse. So actually going off voice chat actually helps me concentrate and actually go through the game going for positive thoughts and actually winning in the end. And plus, I have many girlfriends that have like their cases that they get actually harassed in the game, and that actually affects them so much that they don't even want to play anymore.
I thought you were like flexing that you have a lot of girlfriends. I'm like, damn. All right, we got a pimp here. All right, cool.
In my experience, I used to always be a positive team chat joiner. I used to always rally people up, but ever since Overwatch 2 started, it's been a lot more toxic, and people have been saying that they are afraid of me when I talk in voice chat, and sometimes they even like leave voice chat as soon as I start talking and try to do call outs and strategize. But yeah, because of my experience, I've just stopped joining team chat because after a while, it just got to my head and very affected me mentally. I just couldn't do it anymore.
I believe players should adapt to a one trick on their team. Go. This is actually really interesting, especially after what some of you were saying earlier about how you don't mind one tricks because you like to fill that slot and play around them. I was expecting the majority of you to be an agree or somewhat agree, but we have one person in each stance. That's crazy.
I'll speak because this is like basically what I said. No, this is like part of my favorite part of this game is filling that role. Like, I really like when somebody's a one trick and I need to change my game plan in order to fit around them. It's actually something I find very enjoyable about Overwatch in general.
I agree with what NoobTube said about a one trick player being a slot you kind of have to fill, but my opinion is more of that it ends up being a necessity kind of. Do I enjoy it? Not really. I want to be able to also do whatever I want, and when someone's stuck filling their one specific role that they refuse to switch off of, it kind of feels like a drag down to me because I'm stuck trying to cover up the blind spots that our character has. Do I think it ruins the game? Again, still no. And I do think it does end up being a team responsibility to try and cover those blind spots because at the end of the day, we are still a team, even if we don't always agree on who should play what the comp should be. But at the end of the day, yes, I do think we should be trying to fill those blind spots for each other.
I do think that if someone is very insistent on playing a certain hero, that's completely fine. So say someone is like a Genji one trick, that's fine. The enemy team goes, I don't know, Zarya, Mei, whatever to go against him. If we can assist him and he can be really good after, we assist him, that's fine. But there comes a point at which that becomes a little difficult. So say there's, we have a Pharah one trick and they're running Widowmaker with Illari or maybe a Cassidy there, it becomes really hard to assist that Pharah to do really good if they're getting one shot constantly.
I agree with Wix on this. I think that it's both the responsibility of the flex players and the one trick players, because if you're a one trick, I mean, most characters, minus a few very disliked ones, there's a lot of playstyles you can play with any certain character. And I think if you're gonna one trick, you will not swap off regardless what your team picks or what the enemy team picks. I think you should still try your best to play into your team and into the enemy team, and that's of course hero dependent, and I'm not good enough really to give a full opinion on that for every single character. And I also think it's the flex players part too. That's why I'm in neutral. I believe it's kind of both.
So while adaptability is obviously crucial in Overwatch, it's important to strike a balance between flexibility and team composition. Encouraging players to adapt to a one trick on their team can sometimes lead to an unbalanced composition that may struggle to combat the enemy team as a whole. And Overwatch hero switching mechanic is designed to allow players to adapt to other players on their team, but I think it shouldn't a one trick shouldn't compromise the whole team just because they just playing that character all the time.
Hi, okay, so the game doesn't revolve around you Mercy one tricks. Okay, if I'm on support, I will adapt to you for one game, and then the next round, I'm playing something else. I don't care. I want to play Lucio. I want to play other things other than Ana or other than Lifeweaver. I don't care. I don't care. I don't like you Mercy mains. And when I'm on DPS, I don't want to constantly play hit scans. I want to play Sombra. I want to play Mei. I want to play Symmetra. I want to play something else other than hit scans.
Well, I found my Twitter engagement clip. The support role is very overpowered at the moment. Go.
Nah, what are these season 4, season 5 takes, bro? After the support passive nerf, this role sucks. You're actually playing Dead by Daylight.
Wait, hold on. What was the question?
The support role is very overpowered at the moment.
Oh, sorry, I misunderstood. Let me.
That's okay.
Excuse me.
There's nobody who is on the disagree side of the spectrum at all whatsoever, and we only have one person in neutral, which is also surprising. Smudge, do you want to start first and say what you think about this? Yeah, I agree. So true. Can we get claps in chat, please? Smudge has been spitting all night. I agree with everything that they've said. Even though they've like been on the neutral side about everything, I still agree.
I would like to add on what Yoji said about how support is like Dead by Daylight. And I would like to agree with him, except support this season is the killer in Dead by Daylight because they are the role that can do everything. Almost every single one of them has a get out of jail free card. They can heal their team for a ridiculous amount, excluding Zen, but everyone loves Zen.
What?
And they all do enough damage to easily 1v1 any DPS and some tanks, especially with their get out of jail free cards.
I'm sorry. I try not to talk and like put my input on contestants. I'm sorry. My jaw audibly dropped when you said everybody loves Zen.
I agree with Rust on this. Everybody does love Zen. I love playing Zen because you just get to harass the enemy team. And then the tank player gets to feel like what I feel like. The reason I say that support is overpowered, I mean, Yoji plays Lucio, right? I mean, Lucio, I could imagine being absolutely painful this season. But like, for most of the main, like most of the characters that actually, like, no diss to Lucio, right? But most of the characters that actually are game-changing on support, they have some sort of thing this season that's like a 10-second cooldown that can change a fight instantly. And it's, the passive was like, I mean, it is bad. Like, I play, the supports I play, like, it is kind of painful to have a little bit less healing. But also, like, if your team is coherent, like that little, you know, 0.5 or whatever it is not really that big of a deal in my opinion.
Cameraman, what do you think about those two takes?
I'm convinced none of these people actually play support. Like, they're flex between tank and DPS. That's the only way they think this. Like, I know a lot of people are still on like the support hate train from like season 4, season 5, but after we got like Ana nerf, Brig nerf, Kiri nerf, I mean Lifeweaver got buffed, but Lifeweaver was terrible. The BAP nerf, like how many more nerf? We got the support passive nerf. Like the past 5 patches have all been support nerfs. Like I don't know how much we need.
That's because they were that strong.
And they're not
that's
anymore.
like
We're not
my
talking about the
life.
past. We're talking about now.
As someone who switched from primarily playing DPS, secondary playing support, to primarily playing support and secondary DPS on a large release, I can say that like support, I feel I can do so much more support than I can with DPS because I have my own self-sufficiency tools. I have my own like passive. I can do so much more damage too because I can just play a bit safer because of the passive. But the reason I'm somewhat agree is because I've never, like, you're the first target and then like when you're on the enemy team. I've never had to deal with so many Genji, Tracers, Divas, Dooms, balls in my face when I play DPS and when I play support. But then again, I have so many escape tools, so that's why I play support.
How do you get balls in your face playing Overwatch? I wanna have that happen to me.
I said Dooms. Wait, I said ball. I was like, no, like Wrecking Ball.
I heard y'all. Y'all hear what he said? I heard.
I mean, I like that, but
The only reason I am not in the fully agree section is because I feel like there are some tanks that can get around this. I feel like Orisa is pretty strong right now, and Wrecking Ball can dive supports. But at the same time, when I play Reinhardt, I can't do a thing. If I try to kill things, they are out, everything is healed, I'm barely doing a thing. And the only composition I feel like I can play with or play against when I'm Reinhardt is like Lucio Zenyatta. And even though that Zenyatta is draining me from a mile away with that Discord orb.
A lot of my losses aren't my fault. Go.
It's kind of controversial to actually say like, no, it's not my fault. Sometimes it is, I'm gonna admit that, but like many times I have been playing and I know I'm good and the role I am playing or like many roles, and I know that I'm doing my job as part of that team and that my other part of the team is not doing as much as they should. So they are bringing it down and making me go on a losing streak. I think the last time I went on a losing streak was like 0-8, but I was just playing fine. I was playing good. It was actually not my fault. And I actually felt really bad because I actually thought it was my fault for a moment, but then I went over and checked every single thing I did. And I actually saw that I was actually doing good, but my team were doing mistakes that were like costing us the game.
There's some games I get into, especially in DPS, where like it's 100% my fault. I just go in there, die, I have no impact. Go in there, die, like it's the same process repeated. But there's so many more games, mostly on support, where there's like not much more I could do to help the team or to like get kills, like to assist like my teams on doing what they're supposed to do. Like there's not more I can do to help. and we still end up losing. Like, I've no idea how we lose those games because I try so hard, but it is what it is.
So in Overwatch, the outcome of a match is influenced by so many factors. So, you know, teamwork, hero composition, and individual skill. So I can definitely see me losing matches because it's my team's fault as a whole and not just me, but it's also with me. It really depends on which map I'm on, which heroes I'm playing, and definitely like the timing, or if we see 9 and stuff like that. I feel like it's definitely on a match-to-match basis.
I have had so many matches where I can tell I'm having an off day. I can't hit a shot to save my life. And on the flip side of that, I have plenty of matches where something just clicks in my brain and I'm just hitting every single thing. I'm keeping people alive or just ending the entire enemy team. And then there's also games in the middle of that where I'm just doing my things, not dying, not doing too much, but helping. And it's a completely, I feel like it's a self-centered and very close-minded take to say that few of your losses aren't your fault, because nobody's perfect. No one's gonna have owl level aim. We're not high level players. We're not in the league. Some of us are, but even then, you're gonna have off days. Nobody can just hit every shot. That's called cheating. But at the end of the day, I would say definitely I lose plenty of my games because of me, and plenty of my games are lost in spite of what I'm doing.
So, Bonnie, how does that make you feel, what Axis just said?
I mean, it makes me feel a little bit attacked, but as a whole, I understand that sometimes it may be my fault, but as I'm doing that mistake, and as I am on the like countdown for me to respawn, I check what I did wrong. Like, okay, I did this wrong. So I need to actually change my positioning to actually help my team better. And now I know that I'm not doing things wrong. It's my team now because I'm analyzing everything that should be going on the round.
I could always do better. It don't matter how much I could do. I could be going 40-0 and I could still be doing better. Just because like it doesn't matter like what you're playing or anything. You can always do slightly better. You can always be getting only headshots. Like even if you think it's not possible, it's eventually possible. Because there's guys out there like Zebra. Zebra is literally just laying it down as Doomfist, as the Doom Goat. And then you got guys like Six as the Hog One Trick, staying constantly top 500 on the worst character, worst tank in the game, and he's still laying his meat out as Hog. And then you like, there's so many horrible characters that people are just good at. And like if I was them, I'd be top 500, but I'm not them. I'm just not.
All right, after everybody's spoken, is there anybody who would like to change their stance? Bonnie, you went from agree to somewhat agree?
I feel like saying agree 100% is not real. It's not real. To be honest, it's not real because, as I said before, I do make some mistakes too. And I do sometimes acknowledge them. I may not want to, but I do. So I feel like changing my perspective to somewhat agree is making me realize that even if I don't play good, I feel like I can make myself better. Because I may think that I'm doing the best I can, but there is always room for improvement.
We would call it a night there, but we actually have one last secret, super important hot take for you guys. So I need you to go back to the middle. This one is the most important, most serious, most controversial one of the entire night. I saved it for last. The hot take is, I ship Widow and Sombra. Go. The reason why I asked this is because I was reported with some intel that while y'all were waiting for the game show, you guys were out here talking about chips and fantasies and being horny on main and something about shipping Sombra and Widow. Who done it? Who was it?
Me! That was me! I love toxic. I am a gay man and I support lesbian.
It's Sombra and Farah. You take it back.
What do you mean Sombra and
Yeah,
Farah?
you
It's
suck my
Mercy
ass.
and Farah,
It would be
or
so
Mercy
good.
or Genji. In
Sombra
what
and Widow are
world?
the
In what
two names.
world?
What
are
are you
you
talking
living?
about? What are you
Like,
talking about?
Are you
Pharah is
okay?
I love
everything
the
good?
Harley Quinn Poison Ivy combo. Sombra is Harley Quinn and Widow is Poison Ivy. Ew, excuse me? Sombra Sig? What are you talking about?
Happen.
Who said Sombra
That is
Sig?
gross.
Yeah, I've lost respect for
Who
a person.
said Sombra Sig?
This. I'm
Rusty.
teaching. Rust.
That is disgusting.
All right, you know what? I think we're gonna end it on that note. Because I think I need to go throw up now.
2 to the 1 to the 1 to the 3. I play easy mode and I play to win. I love to die and I like to BRB. All systems checked out. Group up with me. 2 to the 1 to the 1 to the 3. I'm here to party. GG. A giant gorilla can keep up with me. You can't be serious. I'm the queen bee. Get out of the way. I'm the MVP. Move on.